This is AC Starlord. Welcome back. This is AC Starlord. Welcome back to my channel. And I know I said the next movie was gonna be a slasher, which is still gonna be. It's still going to be Hard Eyes, and then you're also gonna get Welcome to Derry. And then some of the shows I need to catch up on after the Halloween season. But the rest of these movies the rest of the movies are going to try to be slashers till Halloween and all stuff. But this is a original movie made by a YouTuber named Chris Stuckman. He directed, produced it. He also had his wife in it. I think his two kids in it. Um, some another he's a black guy, but he's been in like movies like The Thing and some other big known movies. Don't know his name. And also Mike Flanagan help him produce this as well. He did some other movies, but Shelby Oaks is an original story by Chris Stuckman, and he's been talking about it on his YouTube channel for a very long time. And I've been following this YouTuber for a very long time as well. He does movie reviews. He's the one of the main reasons why I got into doing YouTube videos, even though I probably don't get paid doing it. But he's one of the guys, and so does and the other guy is John Fillinger. You probably heard me say their names before on here. But yeah, even before this movie was made, he inspired me to do YouTube videos. He did small little short films himself and on YouTube and also when he was a kid. And this is one of his brainchilds. Shelby Oaks is about a woman named Mia looking for her sister Riley, and her sister Riley has a YouTube. Like it was a very early, like he went back to his YouTube roots very early in YouTube doing she was doing a paranormal activity, not paranormal activity, but paranormal show called Paranormal Paranoids. They were called the Paranormal Paranoids, and then they would go to investigate paranormal places, and then she goes disappearing, and then it's up to Maya, her sister, to find her, and it's kind of like a first half of this movie is like found footage, kind of like Blair Witch, and the other half of this was a standard regular film. But I also felt like I was watching. He's also one of his inspirations with M. Night Shyamalan. I felt like I was watching M. Night Shyamalan movie, but through his eye, through Chris Stuckman's eyes. And this movie is fantastic. I highly recommend you guys go see this. There's the jump scares were actually legitly jump scares. They're actually organically make you jump, not like these other movies out there that put these jump scares every 5 minutes to have you jump and have you get scared. Now, I'm not saying like Black Phone and all those other movies don't do that, but we're conditioned now to see, oh, that's a jump scare, that's a jump scare. He I gotta say, um, he took his time. He took his time. He organized this where there will be a jump scare here, and then there'll be a jump scare a little bit later. But he took his time and paced it out of the jump scares, and the jump scares would legitly made you jump. Like there was moments in here where I was really scared, and I was like going to leave the theater. That's how well this was made, and it's also filmed in his hometown, Ohio, where he was born and raised. And um, Shelby Oaks is a little town outside. I don't know if this was made up for the movie or whatnot, but Shelby Oaks is a little bit out, a town a little bit outside there. They used the same prison as Saul Saint Redemption. So you can only imagine how haunted that actually is in real life. And it's just it was the most original, scary, creepy movie in the world I've seen so far. It's an original. It's not these other movies that I've seen, like Talk to Me and all that stuff like that, that are good and know what they're doing. And but this was a lot more like I was scared. Like I was going to leave the theater after a couple of scenes. And going back to Blair Witch vibes, yeah, it had the Blair Witch vibes. Like Blair Witch actually, when you originally put that movie in, now that you have it on Blu-ray. or DVD. You put that in, it tells a story about the town of where Blair Witch is from, and it tells you uh what Blair Witch was, I mean, what, what the Blair Witch was doing, and they get investigate, and then they get lost in the woods and they all get disappear. Same thing here, like Shelby, I mean, not Shelby, I mean, in Shelby Oaks, Riley and her friends go missing. So does Riley. Riley stays alive, goes missing, and then there's another subplot where there's a twist where they do find her, or Maya does find her, but she does some her own investigation, and when she does find her, there's a twist with a baby. I don't want to really ruin it too much, but there's a twist in that with that, and then it was kind of like an M. Night Shyamalan twist. But the movie was a lot. It was a lot of stuff in here that I don't want to reveal, but it was a really good movie, and I really enjoyed this horror movie. It was different, unique from other ones I've seen so far. And Chris Stuntman's favorite genre is horror, but he also talks about other things. But this, you can tell that he honed in on this. And he had elements of this probably from one of his other YouTube videos when he does also a thing like how I do the Halloween movie marathon. He also does a thing called the annual Halloween special, and I think he did some element. So I think he did some type of element storyline of this Shelby Oaks in one of those Halloween annual specials. And him and his wife wrote this together, and it seemed like they really put a labor and a love to this. And the places in here that they went to, well, yeah, they're real, organically real. They went to real locations. They didn't go to where I was on a set. This is a real location. And this the later on towards the end of the movie, towards the end of middle of the movie, where Maya was meeting up with this older lady that was a son of, I mean, the protagonist of this prisoner escaped. That was her son. It got towards the end. It got creepy and much more creepier. And it was just something different and unique. There's also some hellhounds, and there's also a creature. There was also some type of monster thing that was always around Riley. Riley could see visions and write things down and draw things on pieces of paper. It was legitly scary, and it was an original story. Like this is an original story. It wasn't nothing like, oh, I'm just going to create this because it needed created. And this was originally going to go on YouTube. Like you could see this movie on YouTube, which is you could have saw this movie on YouTube. It was originally going to go to YouTube, which he said on. Now that I follow him on Instagram and stuff like that, he said that it was going to go originally go on YouTube. And some of the interviews that he says the same thing. It's originally on YouTube, and I didn't know where to do it. It was going to be it was going to be on there because even the crowdfunding of Kickstarter, people crowdfunding Kickstarter, as he had early showings from those people. Even though the Kickstarter and people funding it, it probably wasn't going to be enough to put in the theaters until Neon Studios came and backed it up and put it in theaters. Now, Neon, I did watch some Neon movies here, like Substance and what was the last one? Hell of a Summer. Those were all good. Hell of a Summer, like I said, was good. But this, I'll definitely own this in my collection for sure. If they put it on Blu-ray, if they put it on Blu-ray, if they put this on Hulu or Disney Plus with Hulu, or wherever they put it, I will definitely watch this again. I might even go see it in theaters again. That's how good this is. And I highly recommend you guys go see this movie. I know I didn't talk too much about it, but this is legitly the most original scary movie I've seen in a very long time. There's no original scary movies anymore, and Chris Stuntman, put his heart and soul into this making this original story. And there was, like I said, elements of where he was inspired by Blair Witch, like Mongo, I think. And he was also inspired by M. Night Shyamalan. So those are elements in there. The found footage, yeah, I had a friend that said that the found footage is not the found footage thing is cool and all, but it's not. And this movie's not really a cup of tea, and so like that. Because I send them a reel of this. But like, here's the thing. And he said also there has never been done. It's been done before. It's nothing original. This movie had. Here's the thing. This movie had things originally. This thing had. This movie had things that are original and different and unique. I have to say, the found footage. Yeah, it was the first few minutes of the movie, and also like Maya looking through another tape that one of the characters gave her before he died. But that stuff, like, you can tell that he had an old camera around. He had an old camera that he used for his YouTube videos, and he used it in this film or whatever he had. He had an old retro camera, and it really legitimately felt that because look, found footage movies that they make a new one, you can use a modern day camera and pretend that it's some old footage. No, he used an actual old camera, and the rest of it was standard. But the things he did in here were different and original and unique. No movie was filmed in Ohio. No film I ever seen is ever filmed in Ohio. And if they say it is, they are filming at some other location that looks like Ohio. He used that. That's original. That's unique. But the stuff that's original and unique is just the story itself. I never seen a story like this. This all that stuff. Now. The writing in this is good, and he did a good writing, but the dialogue for him for the first time being a director and producer did it need work. Did it was it good? It was good. It doesn't need a little bit more work. A little bit, yes, but I'm not going to be saying that like John Flinger said, where he'd rather see him direct someone else's story and all stuff. I would love to see him do that too, but I also love to see more originals from him. He blew me away. Chris Stuckman blew me away. Chris Stuckman blew my idea of original horror movie for sure out of the water because there's a lot of people just like him that can make a story, any story, like a horror movie or action movie or comedy or animation or whatever their dream is, and they can make this and have it crowdfunded it and then have a studio back it and then have original story told, and then that's their story and they put it out there for the world. And we can nitpick and say positive and negative things about it, but this is their story and this is what they have and this is what they want to put out, and it's great. That's great they do that, and then they have the whole world out there. Like I was telling my friend, there's people there that went to the theater last night that didn't know who Chris Stuckman is. They probably saw the trailer of Shelby Oaks and they saw written and produced by Chris Stuckman. No one know, they probably didn't know who he was. Now, me and my friend knew who Chris Stuckman was. We saw him on YouTube. We follow him on YouTube. We watch his reviews or seen a couple of his videos. I've seen most of his videos and most of his reviews, but he's reaching out to audiences. And plus, this is a neon film, a neon produced, neon marketed this movie pretty well. You have people that don't even know him coming to see Shelby Oaks. Might know just only know my Finnegan, like Mike Flanagan. They might not even know that's Mike Flanagan and Mike Flanagan's involved in it and like, oh, okay, I know who he is. That still gets people in seats, but also the story, also it's a story from Chris Stuckman, produced and directed by Chris Stuckman. Then people start to know who he is, not just some regular YouTuber. He's actually now a director, a big, huge director now, or getting to be there. He's going to probably make more original films like this, and maybe one day get an opportunity to get a hold of someone else's story that they've written, and maybe he will direct it and produce it and put it on the big screen too, because sometimes that works too. So he will have his opportunity doing that. Would I love to see him do that? Yes, but right now I'd love to see him make more original stories. And this is great. And I highly recommend seeing this movie. I highly recommend seeing this movie. Now, if you're not a big horror fan, I recommend you not seeing this. But if you are like horror movies and you do like seeing these things, go see it. But if you do want to support a YouTuber that crowdfunded this, got Neon to back it, and you want him to be successful, even if you do or do not like horror, go check that out as well. Like I did say, if you don't like horror, don't check it out. But if you do want to support someone that can make more original movies like this one, or even another genre, he might have another genre in his back pocket somewhere, or do Shelby Oaks 2 or whatever, support him. I would love for people to support this YouTuber because I would love to see more things coming out of him because he had a mix. His this movie was a fantastic horror movie and it's original thing. The first time I ever seen something original had some different elements from different people in it, from different directors, but or his own ideas of his inspirations from those things as well. I love to see what he comes up with a different genre of action, comedy, drama, animation, whatever he wants to work on because his world, his own little world, it's his own sandbox, and I want to see what else he has in his sandbox. So if you like this video, put a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, um, and I'll see you in the next video, which will probably hopefully be Hard Eyes. I don't know, it's going to be some of this week, and then I'll try to do as much slashers as I can, and I'll try to get you guys Welcome to Dairy video, and then I know I'm working on Peacemaker. When I need to finish Peacemaker, I need to finish Alien Earth, so I need to get with that. But until then, I'll see you in the next video, and deuces. Put a like, comment, subscribe, and notification if you want to, or if you need to, or if you want to support this awesome movie by Chris Stuntman. Deuces.